Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the City of Griffin Board of Commissioners, June 9, 2015 meeting. If you'll please rise as Commissioner Morrow leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll lead the invocation after that.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just in the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen. Amen. First item of business is to approve the agenda.
Chairman, if there are no changes, I move we approve the agenda as published.
Mr. Morrow made a motion to approve. We have a second. Ms. Todd, second. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 6-0. First item is presentation of delegations. First item is recognize Chris Sprayberry, Help Desk Administrator with the Information Technology Department, as the May 2015 Strongest League Award recipient. Chief Technology Officer Jack Poland will address. Good evening, Jack.
Good evening.
Welcome back.
It's always good to be, standing up, particularly doing what I'm going to be doing right now. Because there's not a better feel than this. Chris, you want to come up? Of course, we're here to recognize the strongest link in the chain for May. And I take great pleasure in doing this. I don't think that when it comes to an employee's dedication and focus could be any greater than what Chris has really brought to the city of Griffin as an employee. He has worked diligently and hard since he's been here. And I remember his words to me when I interviewed him. He said, "Mr. Poland, you'll never be disappointed." And and you know what? I have never been disappointed. He's just a solid, focused individual that really wants to get the job done and get it done right. And I'll tell this before I go into exactly what the award's about. Last night, and usually I'm late, I don't leave till 6, but I'm sitting there and I'm going, the lights are still on. And I said, who could that, so I get up and I go in there and he's still at his desktop. I said, what are you doing, Chris? It's almost 5:45. He said, I'm trying to finish these tickets up before I leave. So he still has some outstanding help desk tickets. And that just speaks, that's right there just speaks words of how dedicated he is in his job and what he does for the city. What this award really it's about, as everyone knows, the Thomas property, as far as the the building that was put up out there. IT department actually provided all the infrastructure as far as the making the connectivity for fiber, the switching, the phones. I mean, basically everything that makes it talk and walk out there. Communication-wide, we did it. No contractor, but we did it. And Chris really absolutely just stayed right on top of it and worked diligently, assisted in ensuring that we met our date of having all the work completed. And what also makes this award special is Mr. Cotton actually is the one that recommended and wrote up his fellow worker, recognized him, and put him in for this award. And which I also think is just really great and says a lot about teamwork and the team that we have here that's working and making things happen for the city. Before I present this award, Gib, do you have anything to say before I really? Well, I'm only being fair about it because you wrote the award, okay?
No. No, I do want to say that Chris has really surprised me at how he was able to be in two places at one time. He didn't let a single ticket fall behind while he was out there working at the Thomas property trying to get those guys moved in and get the phones working. So kudos, man.
So with that said, I want to present you, Chris, with the Strongest Link in the Chain Award. This is for Chris Sprayberry, 2015, and I want to say thank you so much for a job well done.
Chris, thank you very much for everything you do for the city of Griffin. You
Yes, sir.
and the whole team make a difference to so many different departments at every level, and we appreciate your sacrifices.
Thank you, sir. I just want to say that I'm very privileged to be a part of such a great team, and that's all I really can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Item 2 is to recognize graduates from the first annual Citizens Fire Academy class. Fire Chief Tommy Jones will address. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, friends. So glad to be doing this. This program we started recently under Director Strickland's leadership is one in which we decided to open up our department to the citizens, as the police department has done in the past, and of course our Citizens Government Academy has done so eloquently and well, to allow our citizens to understand what goes on at fire rescue. And we put together an academy very fast. We knew we had a tight window with the police academy, the summer coming, with our Leadership Development Institute starting in the fall, and also our Citizens Government Academy. We had the privilege of putting this together. We normally would do these once a week, but we asked a lot of our participants this year who came twice a week for 4 weeks. And our journey began a little over a month ago. We had an introduction to the American Fire Service. We told them all about what we did there. We flowed lines, a lot of water through hoses, shot fire extinguishers off. We went up in the 105-foot aerial. We took them to a live fire demonstration, told them all about fire prevention. We cut cars open. We landed a helicopter. We did hazardous materials. We went all through ambulances, the 911 center, the EEOC, and learned about the emergency management process in our community. And they did an outstanding job, and we'd like to recognize them as graduates of our first annual Citizens Fire Academy. So if we could have the folks come on up. And Captain Hamilton has one of our department T-shirts for them since they're part of our team now. First of all, we'd like to recognize Leslie Fagan, Alexander Kane, and Amy Mann, and David Mann. And Mark Johnson, Regina Stevens, Jennifer Rome, Gwendolyn Dallas. And we also have another young man named Garrett Tiller who was a part of our program. I don't see Garrett here, but anyway, we're so glad to present to you the first annual graduates of the Griffin Fire Rescue Citizens Fire Academy. Thank you.
Thank you all for taking the time to be part of this. Anytime we can educate our citizens on what we have to do as elected officials in local government, and it helps you become a witness for us to spread the good news about what the city of Griffin's doing. So thank you again for coming out, and please encourage your friends to come out next year. Any other comments from the staff? Thank you, Chief Jones. Item 3, review financials for April 2015. Chief Financial Officer Marcus Schwab will address. Good evening, Marcus.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. All right, cash balance. Any questions? Moving on to the local option sales tax sheet. We are tracking where we're projecting, averaging about 287 per month on a budget of 3.3 million.
Looks like maybe a little over budget.
Well, we're going to come in over expectations, yes. And the interim statements by fund. Any questions on any of the fund activity?
Things are tracking well for the most part.
Yes, sir. Now, we are looking at several rollovers. We're starting to compile that data now. So we'll be moving some budgets from fiscal year 15 to 16.
Any other questions and comments? Looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next item is citizens' comment. This time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments for the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. With that being said, is there anybody on my left that would like to come before the board? Is there anybody on my right that would like to come before the board? Moving on. Next item is public hearings. Public hearings are conducted to allow public comment on specific advertised issues such as rezoning, ordinances, policy development, operating budgets, and other legislative actions to be considered by the commission. Only item tonight is item 4, receive comments regarding the proposed budget for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2015 and ending June 30, 2016. City Manager Kenny Smith will address.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to remind you that our fiscal year 2016 proposed budget for all funds shows revenues of $104,434,005, with expenses before depreciation and bad debt of $101,688,165. Our general fund revenues projected at $17,579,279, with expenses of $25,948,898, transfers of $8,369,618. All capital requests for fiscal year 16 equals $10,994,617, which includes $6.3 million in the airport fund. The proposed budget includes no increases in millage rates or fees for service. And our budget has been accessible in print form in the city manager's office for about a month now. Also, it's been online, and this will be the second of our advertised public hearings. So after this public hearing and comments, the budget will be ready for adoption.
Okay. Any questions or comments from staff or from city commissioners?
Super job.
Great job.
This is a public hearing. This is an opportunity to come forward to ask questions or make statements in regards to the budget. Is there anybody on my left that would like to come before the board? Is there anybody on my right that would like to come before the board to discuss the proposed budget for 2016-17? 15-16. Thank you very much. Next item is consent agenda. Consider approval of minutes in the May 26, 2015 workshop and regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Commissioners.
If there's no objection, I move we approve the entire consent agenda as posted.
Mr. Marr made a motion, Mr. McCord made a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising hand. 601, Ms. Flowers abstaining. Regular agenda, consider approval of a resolution adopting annual fiscal year 2015-16 operating budget, appropriating expenditures and projected revenues for specified purposes, functions, and activities by the fund for the budget period and the capital improvement program.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the operating budget as presented.
Mr. Morris made a motion, second by Ms. Ward. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Congratulations, Mr. Smith. Hard work. Thank you. Number 7, Spalding County Commissioner Gwen Flowers Taylor requests to address the commission regarding the extension of hours for local parks and recreation venues for the months of June and July 2015. Good evening, Commissioner Flowers Taylor.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Over the past couple months, I've been meeting with some local elected officials and civic members to try and take a more proactive approach to managing the gang and juvenile crime issue and to offer the children in our community a safe, structured environment while school is out. Our plan is to try and institute a free summer programming at the Fairmont Community Center, which is kind of the center of where a lot of the activity happens, because City Park and Ambucks are going to be closed during the day for paid summer camp members. We have been looking for donations from individuals and from groups for sport equipment, game boards, game tables, and we have gotten Spalding County to allow us to be able to use all of those. But we're still looking for things like movies, sponsors of businesses for pickup ball games, exercise classes, and other sports activities. We've also spoken with City of Griffin police chief who wants to work an education program throughout the time that this program is going to inform children about how to deal with police officers, the dangers of dealing with gangs, and just basically to help the kids get to know the police officers. We would like to see the community come together and provide for and support some summer opportunities for our children that may not be able to go to summer camps. There is a definite lack of youth activities in our community, and we have a chance to provide an alternative to doing nothing, getting in trouble, or being enticed into a gang. We'd like to start this at the beginning of next week with your approval. The program will run from 10 o'clock in the morning to 8 at night. The activities will be structured. We have gotten members of the local 4-H who volunteer to come over and bring their international horse group and their rifle team. We have some of the local Boy Scouts who are going to come over and help them do a project there, and we've got some local fraternities and sororities who have also volunteered to come in and help. This is not a park and rec program. This is a gang intervention program. We feel that if we as citizens don't take on ownership of this problem in a way that has nothing to do with the police are going to do what they have to do anyway. But this is our problem, and we need to try to do something that is nonviolent to try and entice these children, our children, to not be involved with gangs. As you saw on your agenda, what we are asking is for a matching support of $2,000 for the end of the 2015 year and $2,000 for the end of the 2016 year. We have planned to start this at the beginning of June, but if there are funds left over, we'll be able to stretch the program out after school starts back. So we'll be able to have some elongated hours still even in the afternoon until we get these funds going. My hope is that if we are successful, and I feel like we will be, that we will gain some new relationships with the police department. We will create some mentors for these kids. We will offer them some avenues that they have never been exposed to in their communities, and we just might build some righteous citizens out of this small venture. So we would really appreciate your support with this. Any questions?
Are you not involving your Spalding County Sheriff's Department?
Beg your pardon?
Are you not involving your Spalding County Sheriff's Department?
We have not, the Spalding County Sheriff's Department does not have well, actually, they don't have enough people to be able to allow people to be able to be available to come and do this.
It's my understanding that we don't either, that we have lost quite a few police officers.
I think Chief Heaton has made it a point that the officers can stop by during free time. I mean, we're not going to be able to assign someone to these venues for a given amount of time. I think the plan is, and I think Chief Heaton is here or not, or Director Strickland might can speak to it, but I think the plan was for them to stop by and interact in between calls, but I don't think the plan is to assign anyone to.
That was not my understanding as well. I understand that part of what this is what I understood him to say, part of what he is doing in the police department is trying to create a community policing atmosphere. In his words, he would like to see these children, when they see the police officers at the grocery store, at Walmart, not be afraid to talk to them, feel comfortable in asking questions related to crime, or when there's a problem, being able to report that. He does have some specific programs. I understand that he says that the Explorers might be able to come in, and that is a youth opportunity group to help try to recruit children to be educated into that program. But I think this is also for him an opportunity to be able to teach children about law enforcement and laws in a venue that he would not ultimately be able to do anywhere else. So it was not, it's not my understanding that he is going to assign someone here. I think this is part of his PR for this policing opportunity.
My understanding is you would like $4,000 for this summer,
Yes, sir.
not 2,000 this year, 2,000 next year.
Well, we have budgeted 2,000 in our 2015 budget and 2,000 in 2016 because that will go into July. So, I mean, I'm not sure how you guys would do that in your budget, but that's how we have done it.
And is your contribution dependent upon us also contributing?
Well, if you do not participate, we will be able to have enough funds to run it for 1 month, but I really can't see why the city would not be interested in trying to make a difference.
Any other questions or comments?
I assume this would have to come out of Commissioner Contingency Fund. I think that's the only pot with any money in it. Or did we spend it all?
No, we've got money in contingency. Yeah, I'm not sure, is it just going to personnel
Now,
call?
this
I'm
this
not
is
sure what it's
actually,
going
okay,
to.
and I don't know that, but I thought they had gotten the packet or the letter that William sent you, but it
I
is
didn't-
gonna require an additional.
All I have is your agenda from the meeting. I
Okay,
didn't get a
it is
letter.
gonna require an additional 95 hours of supervision. And so generally, the park is open in the summer when there's summer camp. It's open at 5 in the evening, closes at 6. So for kids who are not in the paid summer camp, that leaves them 1 hour for activities, and that pretty much puts them on the street all day long. So we will open this program from 10 in the morning to 8 at night. That will be 5, actually be 6 days a week. And that will be throughout the summer. So that will cover the staff, the extra staff that will be required to keep the facility open for that amount of time and to be able to supervise the kids.
Well, I would prefer just to give them the $4,000 out of contingency this fiscal year and let them divide it up how they want to. I would hate to roll it over into the budget that we haven't really started yet. So if your motion would just include a budget amendment to take it out of your $4,000 out of your contingency.
Well, I think there's some nervousness on this being Parks and Rec, and we don't want to go down that road and create that issue, but as you stated, it's not Parks and Rec. This is really a gang intervention, police activity, and so I've justified it to myself on those grounds.
The supervisors will be your employees, will that not
They
be
will.
correct? They will be park employees.
And we will
They be
also
paid
have,
the
we will have
6 months.
volunteers who will also be helping them to supervise, because with such a large number of kids, we feel like at least one adult per every 15 children will need that many adults to make sure that everybody's in the activities.
Have you done a census to see how many participants you will have?
No, ma'am, we haven't. But any time that we've had, last year, we had a free summer program. There were as many as 100 children participating every day. So I can't say that there's going to be 100, but I can pretty much say it will be as full as we can accommodate.
We spoke last Saturday night about this, and I want to commend you for this effort. I made a commitment to you that I would try to get a soccer clinic to go with some coaches and things.
Awesome,
And,
appreciate it. And I
I
would
will.
certainly be looking for other of
And
you
I've already
to
talked
combine
to some
reads.
soccer coaches, and they think it'd be a great opportunity for us to come
We'd
out. So,
appreciate any help you guys
I
can
think
get.
that this is a little outside of the box than what we normally do, but I think it's a great opportunity for us to make a difference. With that being said, any other questions or comments? Pleasure of the board.
I'm going to move that we approve and the money come out of our current year's station contingency fund.
Okay, Ms. Morrow made a motion, and a second. Ms. Ward did the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signal by raising your hand.
Thank
7-0.
you.
Thank you. Good luck, and thank you for making a difference. Item 8, consider approval of the ordinance amending the Code of Griffin, Chapter 18, Aviation by enacting a new Article 5, Safety, Efficient Use and Preservation of Navigable Airspace. Griffin, Spalding County Airport Manager.
Commissioner
Robert
Flowers,
Floyd.
would you hang around for this item? This is a preview
properties in close proximity to the airport. This would formalize that process somewhat by adopting the Part 14 CFR, 14 CFR Part 77 regulations of the FAA, so we follow that standard. And it would apply not only to the existing airport, but to any new airport within the city, or to properties within the city in proximity to a new airport. So I think as we move forward with the development of future airport, this will become an issue and will come into play.
You want to say anything else before I add my 2 cents?
Yeah, additionally, this is part of our grant assurances. When we accept grants from the federal government, that we have protections in place. The one that we're proposing is very similar to the one that's in the county, so that we have joint cooperation between the city and the county, so we have a similar mechanism. And when we move the new airport, when we move the flag, those mechanisms will be in place and will be in accordance with our grant assurances.
Let me give a little history. Back when I was on the county side, we found out that the county had not adopted protections on our end of the existing airport, the county end. So we did that. The county never adopted, the city never adopted them, but the county did. Now we're updating them, and the city's going to adopt them 50 years too late, but we're going to adopt them. But what the FAA is quite concerned about is the new airport and folks building obstructions in the interim between now and new airport opening. So they've asked us to get the county to pass this and protect that land space until it's annexed in the city and our protections transfer. So we need the help from the county to get these protections in place, and we can work together depending whose jurisdiction it is. So it's a joint effort. That's why I asked Commissioner Flowers if she understands Taylor.
Any other questions, comments?
No.
We have a motion to
All
approve.
that's said and done, I move that we approve this ordinance.
Mr. Moore made a motion, we have a second.
And this is on the first reading?
Yes.
Okay. I second.
Ms. Powers, second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0.
And when are you scheduled to go to the county, Robert?
I'll have to get with Mr. Wilson. I've been working with Chad. He seems to think that they're ready to go, so I'll just get with Chad and make sure that they're going to put it in the pipeline.
So we'll be on your side of the street shortly.
Outstanding, thank you. Item 9, consider approval of a job-related, item 1, a job-related certification policy to encourage and reward employees for increasing their job-related knowledge and enhancing their value to their department and the city. And item 2, a sign-on recruitment and retention bonus policy to provide the city with the ability to find, hire, and retain quality employees in hard-to-fill classes of jobs.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion, Mr. McCord, second by
Can
Mr.
we
Ward.
take them both in one motion? Is that okay?
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any other discussion or questions?
So, I hope this works. After all the discussion we had about my issue with getting all of our training and taking somewhere else, I hope this additional training is going to be sufficient to pay absolute officer fashion.
We hope so as well.
I'm very happy.
We're with you.
Good job. All right, any other questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Neville, for your hard work on this. Item 10, consider the approval of the 2015 chemical annual bid in the amount of $544,485.93 to 11 vendors for the Water and Wastewater Department and Public Works and Utilities Department. Director of Public Works and Utilities Department, Dr. Keller, will address. Mr. Ward made a motion, second.
Second.
Ms. Todd has a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0.
A lot of drug money.
A lot of money. Item 11, consider approval of the amendment of McNaughton McKay for the variable frequency drive in the amount of $16,101.18 for the Still Branch Water Treatment Plant of the Public Works Utilities Department. Dr. Keller will address.
I move that we approve this amendment and additional money. I understand the wrong number was pulled down originally, so this is the corrected number.
Second.
Got a motion from Mr. Morrow, second by Mr. Ward. So the correct this is the correct amount, $16,101.18? Additional, okay, gotcha. Any questions, comments? All in favor, say so raise your hand. 7-0. Item 12, consider approval of first reading of the ordinance revising the Code of Griffin, Georgia at Chapter 82, Taxation, Article 3, excise tax on hotels by increasing the rate to 8% in accordance with Act 288, House Bill 644 of the 2015-16 regular session of the General Assembly of Georgia, revising the name of the article to reflect the current title used in state law and for other purposes. If adopted, the increased rate will become effective August 1, 2015. Ms. Ward made the motion. Do you have a second? Mr. McLemore? Go ahead, sir.
May I ask a question? If I understand this right, the county's version got through the House but fell short on the Senate due to a procedural hoo-ha-ha.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So the way the legislature works, being a 2-year cycle, that is still alive and well. Doesn't have to go back through the House, just has to finish up the Senate.
That's correct.
So we're close to getting it done this next time.
Well, they were able to raise theirs arbitrarily to 5%.
Not the full length.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're raising from 3 to 5. Also, let you know that we have met with the owners of the hotels inside the city, both individually, and then we had a collective meeting today. However, only one of them showed up, but they've all been made aware of it.
We have a motion second. All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Thank you very much. Appoint 2 members to the Griffin Spalding 800 megahertz users group. City manager will address. And I think the 2 names you had was Frank Strickland and IT.
Gib Cotton, network administrator in IT, is recommended as public safety director. Strickland's nominated.
Okay.
For staff recommendation.
I move to approve.
We have a motion from Ms. Todd, second by Mr. McLemore. Any more discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. And item 14, consider amending the current lease agreement with law offices of G. Allen Dodson LLC for Suite 405 at 1 Griffin Center to adjust any date of a 36-month lease agreement currently to December 31st, 2016.
While we're correcting stuff, Mr. Dodson noticed that his lease actually started January the 1st, 2014, and it was for 3 years, so we added 3 to 14 and came up with 17. But it actually expires at the end of 2016, because we didn't count right. So we're just correcting that.
Okay. What's the pleasure? Mr. Morrow, Ms. Todd, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Raise your hand. 7-0. Very good. Okay. City manager report.
Just want to congratulate staff on a great event Saturday night, June Jam. Estimated about 3,500 people. And a lot of excitement about the new park. And lastly, just want to congratulate Commissioner McLemore on the arrival of his son.
Papa Mac.
Sleepy, sleepy. Yeah. Good thought.
Surely Mama's
Never
here to
ends.
help take care of that baby.
Good, good. Mr. Whalen?
I just want to join in congratulating Ryan. Hope he remembers the last good night's sleep he said.
Thursday, we won't get to the next one.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. And great emceeing the other night. In the house, we were having a bet, $1 for every time you said "in the house," and I think I won. I'm up to $179 now. Yeah, we had a bet every time you said "in the house."
Is that as bad, isn't it, at the end of the day? Sorry.
Mr. McLemore?
I do want to thank everybody for the well wishes. It was an interesting 5 days. But Griffin has one of its newer citizens, so I am excited about that. And I think for all the days. The name is Nolan Michael.
Nolan?
Nolan.
Nolan.
Michael for the
13 years, Nolan's gonna be a teenager, so, there's, there's something to be thinking about there. We lost Joe Harrell today, a great World War II veteran,
Yeah.
and such a wonderful fella. He single-handedly would raise the team, and they did a lot of work at the cemetery and all kinds of good work around town. He donated to all kinds of causes, gave his farm to Truett Catholic for the children's home. I couldn't tell you all the things that Joe has done, and we're gonna miss him. He's one of the greatest generation in World War II veterans, so I'm kind of bummed out. I like Joe and miss Joe a lot.
Ms. Dye?
I think that Saturday night proved the wisdom of Ryan's and my insistence that the old city hall site become a park. I think that probably we had the turnout because it was good, it was located in a good area, and people love to be able to gather. And we didn't have to dodge traffic or anything like that. I'm just very pleased that we can have events like this and that it was as well received as it was. We now have direction there, don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah, really. I wish I could have been at June Jam. I know that it was a good experience.
Party animal.
I know that Diary called me a couple of days prior to that, and I honestly thought I was going to be a little bit tired that morning because the state got middle, so I'm glad that
Kenda was worn out. She worked hard.
Yeah, she did a great job. It was a great job by everybody.
I think I'd like to congratulate Ryan on a big old baby.
That was a big one.
Great.
And he's beautiful.
Well, June Jam was great. I was involved on the downtown council as a business owner, and just got great feedback. I had calls Monday, calls today from folks talking about how we can raise money, how we need to look at parking issues, and really concentrate on that central area. I want to mention Kenda, Diode, Carolyn Bird, the Main Street Board, Downtown Council, Spalding County, and the city staff. It was a team effort from everybody, from the solid waste coming out and getting the trash to the probation workers, you name it. Every department worked together, electric department, to make it happen. It was a great time. I'll be AWOL for the next 10 days, starting Friday, going to Canada with a scout troop with canoes and paddles, and no cell phones for a week. So next week I'll be gone.
Passport?
Passports and everything.
Did I say
so-
that out loud?
What's that?
I'm sorry.
Oh. And,
I just yawned.
and today, my wife is going to officially be a school teacher at Spalding High School, looks like, next year. So
Congratulations.
Marsh is not happy about that, but I'm tickled to death. It's like having a baby, so. But the staff and everyone for what you do, we appreciate it. The theme of June Jam was for the love of Griffin, and I think that spirit is going throughout the community. There's so much positive going on, and we'll keep working together to make Griffin the best it can be. With that being said, is there a motion to adjourn? Ms. Ward, second by Mr. Morrow. All in favor, please stand up.